Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Reggie, and I am the founder of the Haitian Free Thinkers. Haitian Free Thinkers is one of the world's few groups for Haitian secular people, such as myself. I am an atheist. I founded the group in January 12 of 2012, about 2 years after the earthquake that hit Haiti, as a way of seeing if I can find more secular people just like myself, and also as a response to what Pat Robertson said about the Haitian people, and also as a way to educate people, the Haitian people, about the causes of natural disasters such as the earthquake, because at the time I wasn't sure how many people were aware of plate tectonics and things of that nature. If you're interested in us, we are interested in you. You can find us at HaitianFreeThinkers.org. We are on Facebook and all the major social networking sites such as Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, etc. So this morning we have an interview with Mr. Ban and Mr. Yadazar Banlaya of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, also known as I.S.U.P.K. And I'm just waiting for them to come on and join me. So this is a simulcast project that I'm doing where I am broadcasting live to the I.S.U.P.K Canada page, as well as the Haitian Freethinkers YouTube channel. So this is the first time that we're going to have comments available um, to us as guests and hosts, and I'm hoping to get a few comments towards the end. The way that this broadcast is scheduled to go is that, we're going to catch you up on what's been going on. This is actually the third time I'm speaking using this system with the two gentlemen. Um, and we're going to catch up on what's been going on and how we came to this point. And then we're going to talk about three specific subjects. That is to say, does God exist? Uh, are there any contradictions in the Bible? And finally, what has the Christian church and voodoo done for the Haitian people? So those are the three things that we're going to try to address today, giving each about 10 minutes of our time, and then we're going to get to some comments and questions. Normally, I've done shows in the past where I use Blog Talk Radio, where you can actually call in and talk to the host, myself, and my co-host James, and our guest. But we've been using StreamYard now for about a month, trying to see if I'm going to kind of keep this format permanently because of the multi-broadcasting capabilities. That is to say, it can broadcast to YouTube and Facebook and other places at once. And so I saw Aaron Ra using it with some guests, and I decided to give it a try. So I've been using it with the ISUPK members, and so far it's been pretty good. So I'm hoping to get some comments today, and feature that, as I continue to use StreamYard and get used to it. So that's that. Yeah, so we're gonna have some time towards the end for questions and comments and whatnot. As I.S.U.P.K comes on. So like I said, we are available for anybody who are interested in us. Yeah, we've been doing our thing for about 8 years now. It's been doing good. Originally, my goal was to find about 10 atheists like myself, but we've surpassed that, and I'm very happy. What we try to do is to provide a place for secular people to come together and share their experience. And I like to interview people and
Shalom,
capture
Reggie.
their
Can you hear me?
stories. And
Can you
yes, I
hear
can
me?
hear you. Yes. and that's what I try to do. So we have another interview coming up. Should be coming up on February 3. Yes, I can hear you. February 3 is I have Stephanie coming on, and I've done past interviews that you can find on Google Podcasts. You know, just search for Haitian Free Thinkers. The Haitian Free Thinkers radio show is what I did on Blog Talk Radio, and we have a lot of episodes that you could just check out. So, yeah, so I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you and getting your comments. I also got, of course, a Gmail. So if you want to write us at HaitianFreethinkers@gmail.com, then that'll be great. So we're waiting for ISUPK to come on. And looks like they just dropped out. Yeah, so we'll be here for about an hour. But yesterday, tragic news came out. I found out early in the morning that Kobe Bryant, unfortunately, died in a accident with a helicopter.
Hey, what's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Doing well, and you?
I'm doing good.
You're mentioning Kobe Bryant?
Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. Very sad day.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw Yadazar come on. He did a soundtrack, but I don't know if he was able to hear me, and then he dropped off. So we can just jump right in.
Yeah, he had told me he's going to do it from his phone. He didn't want to, but he was saying he was having some kind of technical issues with his desktop. So he'll be in.
Okay. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Well, I already introduced myself, and I was telling everybody that this is our third time doing this type of broadcast.
Okay.
I didn't say how we met, but basically there was some comments on Haitians on Facebook, which is a group that I saw you commenting about Moses being Haitian, and I made some comments, made contact with you. I asked you if you'd be willing to talk to me about these type of things, and you said yes. And then you know, this is our third interview. The difference between this interview and the previous two is that we're addressing 3 specific topics, and hopefully have some time towards the end for questions and things of that nature. But you can kind of reintroduce yourself and who you are.
All right.
We're waiting.
My name is Priest and Officer 1000 Abun, member of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, the home of the truth. We're started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We're under the authority and leadership of Commanding General YAHANNA, who is an excellent servant of the one the world calls Christ. In the Hebrew tongue, he's known as Yahawashi, all right, who is the savior of all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. So that's an introduction. I'm an Israelite priest in the I.S.U.P.K.
All right. Cool. So we're waiting for one more, and I told him that this broadcasting live to the I.S.U.P.K Canada page and the Haitian Free Thinkers YouTube channel. So let me see if he can come on now.
Yeah, he's in.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. All right, so let's get right into it, because you know I want to stay on schedule with the timing of an hour.
Perfect.
So, like I said before, this interview is focusing on 3 specific topics, and we're going to try to give them about 10 minutes each of time. So we're about the 10-minute mark now. So the first question is, does God exist? And before we do that, and I told you I would mention this when I was writing up the show, I put what is a God instead of what God exists. So that was my bad. But you did mention what you define as a God to be. So can we define it one more time and then go into if God exists, please?
Okay, so let's define what God is. So the word God literally in the Bible means several things. It means either the Most High. First, it means the Most High, the one the world calls the Lord, whose name is Yahweh in the Hebrew. Secondly, the word God is also rendered Elohim in the Hebrew, in the original text. The word Elohim literally means powers. It is a word that denotes the angels, and it also denotes rulers or authorities or judges. In the book of Psalm, chapter 82, verse 6, the Lord said that ye are gods. So-called Haitians, so-called Negroes, so-called West Indians, so-called Latinos are gods, are rulers and authorities on this earth, the proper rulers and authorities on this earth. You understand? So the word God just means ruler or authority. The Lord's name, or the one that the atheist would call, God himself, is the head. His name is Yahweh. He is the Lord. All right. So that is what God is. The word God, literally.
Okay. So to recap, and we're getting comments by Sharatazar, UPK, Florida. So thank you for watching. So to recap, God means powers such as rulers, as stated, and I believe you said Psalms 86.
Psalm 82 and 6, it denotes
82
rulers, and it's lowercase. In other scriptures, it does the same thing, where it also means the angels or the Most High, who is the head of all angels, men, kings, etc.
So God could be an angel as well.
Yes, the word God in the scriptures can be talking about denoting the angels. That's correct.
Okay. And then you mentioned the Most High is, what's the name that you guys use again?
Well, the true name of the Most High comes from what you've heard of as the Tetragrammaton. The Tetragrammaton is, 4 Hebrew symbols. What you don't know is that those symbols are not pronounced with vowels. So the word Yahweh is totally incorrect. Biblical Hebrew is formed from an abjad, which is a alphabet based on consonants. A, ba, ga, da. Those are consonants. Okay, it's a totally different phonetic pronunciation from a vowel. So the Tetragrammaton is the name of the Most High. Problem is that no one until 1969 was able to pronounce it correctly. His name is Yahweh. All right.
What? Oh, 1969, which happens to be the year you guys were founded.
1969 happened to be the year the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is founded, when the mysteries were revealed to the prophets again. Go ahead.
So 1969 is when you guys figured out the acceptable English version of the name?
No, Yahweh is not English at all.
Oh, okay, so what is that, Hebrew?
It's ancient Hebrew, or otherwise known as what we call a Lashawan Kodash, which simply means holy tongue, pure tongue. Okay, is unfabricated Hebrew.
Okay. Okay. So and who, I guess, I don't know, for lack of a better term, who came up with the word in 1969? Why did it take so long?
Yeah, it was a man that had found the true pronunciation of the Hebrew. It's a man named Ariyah. He had done a lot of research and study for a period of several years when he had become injured. That was when the revelation of the 12 tribes, who the 12 tribes were today. That's when that came out. And he also read up and studied on Hebrew. Bear with me 1 second. He read up on and studied the Hebrew and then found that real or true biblical Hebrew was pronounced without vowels. The Nikud system, the vowel system that was imposed on Hebrew, was imposed by the Masoretes. The Masoretes are a group of Edomites, so-called Europeans, that came and took our records and translated it so they could understand it. They could understand it or read it with vowels. Okay, but the correct pronunciation was found by the Hebrew scholars in the I.S.U.P.K. starting with the 7 heads, Ariyah being one of those heads. So that's how it came about. Okay.
Well, history lesson there. All right. So anything else as far as the definition of God is concerned? So what about other deities like that people worship? Those are gods too, or not?
Yeah, those are gods, but those are false gods. All right. Those gods are not living. They can't speak. They can't help anyone. During Christmas, many people celebrated Christmas, but did you know that Christmas is one of the times of the year where the suicide rate is the highest, domestic violence rate is the highest, the rate of crime skyrockets, property theft, home fires, electrical fires, etc., skyrockets. Those are false gods. Those are gods that have no benefit, that have no help, that can't help themselves and can't help us. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's get into it. So does God exist? And by that I mean not the angels.
Yeah.
Which God are we talking about? Because if humans are gods,
Yahweh. Humans are rulers. People do rule. The president rules the United States. The prime minister rules Great Britain, etc. So there are rulers. That's common knowledge.
Okay, so I mean, we're probably not talking about the humans. We're talking about the
living God. I understand what you're saying. Yahweh.
Yeah.
Yes, the Lord.
So how do we know if Yahweh exists?
Give me Romans 3:3, Yathazar. Real quick. I'm gonna pull this quick scripture on it. Let's say I don't believe in America, right? I don't believe in America. I'm living in America. I don't believe in America. I don't believe what they stand for. I don't care about America. Hell, I don't even think America exists. This is all made up. It's a made up conspiracy. If I go and steal from a convenience store and I'm caught, I go commit a robbery, if I go commit any crime and I'm caught, will I go to jail? Should I go to jail? According to America's laws.
Yes, you'll be prosecuted. Yes.
Yeah. I don't believe in it. I don't believe it exists at all. I don't care about America. It was set up by America was set up by aliens, the Nazis. I cannot believe in America all I want. I cannot believe in its existence all I want. But if I steal and I get caught in America stealing, I'm going to jail. You cannot believe in, like atheists don't believe in God, in the concept of a God or a deity. They cannot believe in God all they want. The prophecies and the laws and the judgment that God brings down still occur. Read the scripture real quick.
Romans chapter 3, verse 3. For what if some did not believe?
What if some didn't believe? What if some didn't believe in God? Go ahead. Read on.
Their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
So does atheist belief that God doesn't exist, does that make it non-effect? Does that make what God wrote down in the Bible non-effect? Read on.
Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? Verse 4. God forbid.
God what?
God forbid.
God forbid. No. If I steal in America, I'm going to be punished according to America's laws, whether I believe in them or not. If Haitians break the laws of God, they're going to be punished for it, whether they believe it or not. There will be slave trade. There will be earthquakes. There will be worked to death on sugar plantations if they disobey the laws of God. Atheists went through that, and so do people that believe in that. Also called Haitians went into slavery over here through via slave ships. All Haitians, regardless of religious faith, felt that earthquake. All Haitians, regardless of religious faith, felt the child molestation of the Clinton Foundation, the rape, robbery, and murder by the UN, regardless of religious faith. You can not believe in it all you want, but the prophecies of God still come to pass and they still happen, and his laws are in effect. So that's the proof that God does exist. His punishments are everywhere. You just have to look and find them. All right?
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah,
and not only does all Haitians fear what Officer Abanja stated, but all Haitians also today do not know what language they were speaking prior to speaking Creole. And that is prophesied in the Bible that we were going to lose our heritage. And now we do not know who we are. We think that we are Haitians, an identity that came about in 1804 when Haiti was declared independent. Now, that's the question we got to ask ourselves. Are we really Haitians? Is our identity a 216-year-old identity? I beg to differ. We are older than that. We had an identity prior to slavery, and we had an identity prior to 1804. We had a language prior to Creole, because Creole is only a language that we developed out of French. So how could Creole be our language? How could being Haitian be our identity?
And if I could add, Haitians swear up and down they're African. I did a DNA test. I bet I'm 70. Go ahead.
Can we stick to about God, please?
Yeah.
So the question was, does God exist? You're saying yes.
Yes, God
exists. I just want to, I guess, tell you what I heard so that I can make sure I'm understanding what your guys are saying.
Okay.
And I want to stay on topic because we have to keep track of the time.
Solid.
So you're saying that God exists because of you read something from Romans chapter 3, I believe.
Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. Go ahead.
Chapter 3, verse 3. And then you're saying essentially, and you made a analogy of a person that doesn't believe in America and goes and steals something from a convenience store. And you asked me whether they would be going to jail, correct?
That's
And I
correct.
said yes. And so from that analogy, you're saying that a person, I guess according to Romans chapter 3, verse 3, who I guess does things, I guess Haitians, for example, because of the what happened to Haitian people, like earthquakes and slavery, because of what happened to Haitian people, that means God exists. That's what you're saying, right?
No, I'm saying if those that break the laws of God will be punished by God, whether they believe in him or not, the same way you'll be punished by America, whether you believe in America or not.
Okay. So I have something to ask you about that. So
Okay.
if you go to Saudi Arabia, right? Saudi Arabia is currently a Muslim country. If you don't believe in Allah or not, and you break one of their laws, right? Is it and then they punish you? Does that make Allah real, or does that make that Allah exists?
No, that doesn't make a law real.
Okay, so in the same way, I don't think that, at least for me, it's not very convincing, your definition, unless you have some more evidence that,
Yeah.
because let's say an earthquake happened. Earthquake is a natural thing that happens all the time. There was just an earthquake in Puerto Rico. There was an earthquake in Turkey. There's earthquakes because of plate tectonics, which is one of the things that people such as Pat Robertson said was like a punishment towards the Haitian people because of Bwakaim, or something that Yadazar is very very fond of talking about whether it happened or not. But that's something that a lot of people believe as far as the relationship between the supernatural and the natural. But what happens is, and I don't know if you agree or not, I'm not saying you do, but earthquakes happen. As far as slavery is concerned, slavery has happened throughout the world, different peoples, including people that became Haitian. So I don't. Would you agree? I mean, other people have been slaves that are not members of the what you would call the Hebrew tribes, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Other races went into slavery, but our slavery is prophesied in the Bible. And your analogy about Saudi Arabia, even that proves that God exists. In Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64, the Lord said we will be scattered amongst all people, and that we would go and serve other gods, wood and stone. All right. The stone is representing the Kaaba stone that is within Mecca. Okay, and that we would have to go and we would have to serve these gods. Like you said, if we go and break a law in Saudi Arabia, we will be punished for it according to their God. So even that's in the Bible. That we would be under the subjection of other peoples who serve false gods. So that proves that God exists. And go
So,
ahead.
like, if Reggie, let me help you out, if I may. What you have to realize, right, about the Bible is that when we mention God and we're talking about the prophecies, does God exist? We have prophecies that are dated thousands of years ago. The reason why Officer Abon went to Romans 3rd chapter with you is to show you that even though that so-called atheists, which are really Christians, because all atheists are sophisticated Christians, even though these atheists, so-called atheists, may not believe in God, all of these prophecies are going to come to pass, and they have come to pass. That's what you have to understand. It don't matter if you believe in God or not, but the prophecies that were prophesied thousands of years ago, they have come to pass. You get what I'm saying? And this is one of the measuring stick that we could use to say, you know what? This living God of the Israelites, which we are the descendants of, they exist. That God, Salaka, that God exists because everything that God has said, not everything came to pass, but a lot of prophecies have come to pass, and there are prophecies right now that we are sealing that is being fulfilled as we speak. We could turn on the news and we could see what was prophesied in the Bible thousands of years ago being fulfilled. Now, my question to you, I have a question for you. Based on what evidence or what is it that you're using to say that God does not exist?
I say that God does not exist in reality. Like everything that you guys talk about is from a religious book. Gods exist as ideas in the minds of believers as a concept. I think I mentioned in the past, I know you guys talked about Christmas all the time. There's a central figure, Santa Claus. I'm gonna use that as an example. Santa Claus is not real as far as the depiction of this man being able to distribute gifts to good people and coal, I guess, in the socks of bad people, whatever. It's understood, generally speaking, that it's a mythology, but it does not exist in real life. Even though you can go to malls and you can see people playing Santa Claus. So your God is just like that. It's just an idea. Now there's people that, let me hear me out. There's been people that's been talking about this God and different versions of it for a very long time. And sometimes these stories come in the form of books. And you have the most famous example of your God in these books, and that's why you refer to the stories as a sort of proof. But like Brother Aban said earlier, like with what he believes are the false gods, they cannot do anything. Like, for example, if I break one of the laws of Yahweh Shai, I think nothing will happen to me. You know what I'm saying? Because Yahweh Shai is not something that exists in real life. And if let's say one of the rules was, I don't know, picking up a stick on the Sabbath, something that somebody was put to death in the Old Testament or the Jewish Bible. Today is not the Sabbath. So unfortunately, me being Haitian, or as you would call so-called Haitian, if today was the Sabbath and I pick up a stick, nothing was going to happen, something like that, So basically the gods exist only in the minds of the believers. What you call a false God is basically someone can say the same thing to you and say, well, your God is false. And there's really nothing you can do about it. Now, however, in the Bible, there's this one famous story between, I believe it's Elisha and the 450 priests of Baal, where they had like a showdown, where, according to the Bible, Yahweh did show proofs between these two entities of who exactly was real, if you will. And also, you can use the Moses showdown with the Egyptians as an example, where there's real-time demonstrations of the powers of this deity. But these things are just stories. In real life, these things cannot happen. So to sum it all up, what I'm claiming to you is that your God is only in existence in your mind and in these stories. It doesn't exist in real life.
All right,
Okay.
Reggie.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Come
Yeah,
on.
hold on one second. Yeah, you said it exists in the mind. So we just showed you that the prophecies of the Bible happened. Deuteronomy 28 and 68 happened. There's a people, you said everyone went into slavery. There's a people that went into slavery via ships. There are people that would discontinue from their heritage. Haitians believe that before Haiti, they were in Africa, running around with the kente cloth on. Okay. When recently, when Haiti tried to become member of the African Union, remember that, Reggie? Haitians are Africans. What did Africa do? They let them in. Oh, brother, we welcome you with open arms. They didn't let the Haitians in the African Union because Africans and Haitians are separate. Okay, that's recorded in the Bible. The Lord put a difference between the Egyptians and the Africans. You said the Bible is a religious book. Nothing about the Bible is religious. And the problem with atheists is, in not believing God, is that they get the stories from religion. Also, you mentioned that there is no sign that God exists in real life. Christ said this, that a wicked generation seeketh a sign. The wicked, disgusting people eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, have sexual orgies. They want a sign. They want to see, whoa, they want to see light, and the Christian version of Revelation, some angel fall down from the sky and show them that God exists.
Not necessarily. A sign, evidence, whatever you want to call it, is
we
something
showed you.
that you showed me what?
We showed you evidence. It's transatlantic slave trade is in the Bible.
Okay? Yeah, no, it's not.
Yes, it is. Deuteronomy 28 and 68.
I know that's what you think it's in the Bible, and that's one of the key differences between us. And I understand your understanding of like prophecy and stuff like that, but what I found through my experience of talking to believers such as yourselves is that different, of course, different people see the Bible different ways, and they use the Bible to promote whatever group that they belong. For example, the Jehovah's Witnesses believe what they believe, and they say that there's prophecy in the Bible that support what they believe. And when they're proven wrong, like there's this very famous prophecy that was supposed to come true in 14 in the time past, you know, they have
I'm aware.
to recircle around and kind of remix the prophecy. And what I found out is that just because you prove like a believer wrong when it comes to prophecy, it doesn't mean that they stop believing. The Jehovah's Witness organization is still around. As this is different, if you were to say, like, we're recording this. If you were to you go to the Bible, make a prophecy right now with specific dates, times, names, something that we can hopefully within our lifetime verify, that we can say you got something. For example, the Super Bowl is coming up next Sunday, right? If you can prophesy who's going to win, what the score is, who's the MVP, go ahead.
Can I say something to that? Yeah,
Yes,
to the Super Bowl thing. Okay, well, here's the problem with what you're saying. You want to, you keep asking, you've asked like 3 times now about the Super Bowl 54, who's going to win, dates, times. That's what a child asks for. A child asks his father, Daddy, when are we getting there? Daddy, when are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there? That's what a child asks. A child asks for dates and times to something silly like the Super Bowl. All right. When men are concerned with the prophecies and when the prophecies will come to pass, the Lord is not going to give a man a revelation about Super Bowl 54 because it means absolutely nothing. The Lord gave Ezekiel and different men visions on things that are big picture things. Deuteronomy 28th chapter, slavery is a big picture thing. Super Bowl 54 is not. So that's something that a child would ask about.
Listen. First of all, can we agree that I'm not a child? Yes or no?
Yeah, of course. You're an adult. You're a grown man.
I'm not a
Super Bowl
child.
54.
And number 2, I use Super Bowl 54 as an example. It doesn't have to be that. But what I'm saying to you is this. What I'm trying to convey to you is, if you were to put your reputation on the line, your ability as priest, which is what you call yourselves, and to give something definitive, not something that can be interpreted, and something so far, like for example, when the in chapter 28 of Deuteronomy, which is a very famous chapter that you guys like to use, it didn't talk about Haiti. It didn't talk about the specifics. You know, I believe, and from what I read, listen to me, you guys read it into it, right? But imagine if it gave dates, actually the words Haiti or something like that. You know, there would be no way for you to say that, well, you read that wrong, or this context or anything like that. So you can choose your version of the Super Bowl. I just happen to use something that's going to be popular. We're talking right now. It's going to happen within 7 days. You ask for these specific things, man. If you were to be able to, this is an example, you know, give what you would call prophecy to that. I mean, then you'd have something. But you cannot do that, and I know you cannot do that. Or this is just an example. The Super Bowl is an example. But something like that is what I'm saying. But prophecy, as I've seen with believers, means that Muhammad is in the Bible, the Virgin Mary is in the Bible, Adolf Hitler supposedly happened in the Bible, Trump is in the Bible, Obama's in the Bible. So everybody volunteers whatever they believe in the Bible. And then if I were to take the verses that someone says that, let's say, prove that Muhammad is in the Bible, and I present to you, and I say, who does this talk about? You would not say Muhammad. And that's because that's not how your trend of thought works. You guys think about Hebrew Israelite relevant prophecies, if you will. And all this kind of stuff happens when the words are not specific. So I'm just using Super Bowl as an example. If you have something else that can happen hopefully within a week, and you can give specific dates, times, you know, let's say last week you guys had a chance to talk about, let's say, what's going on with Kobe Bryant. You know, he died. You know, imagine if you had said that would have been pretty crazy. We have visual and audio evidence that priest Abond of I.S.U.P.K, Home of the Truth, said that for example, Kobe Bryant would have died on a helicopter at this time in this town in California. I mean, can you imagine that? That would have been useful. Something like that.
I mean, try me out on.
Go ahead.
All right. Reggie, let me help you out, man. The Bible says this, right? Answer not a fool according to his folly. That's what the Bible says. Now, I'm not calling you a fool, but the question that you asked is pretty foolish, and I'm going to show you why. You want to know about the Super Bowl 54.
Or something that's going to happen in a week. 7 days exactly. We got a clock. Eviction notice.
So
go ahead.
This is the reason why your question is foolish. In the ISUPK, this is what separates ISUPK from everybody else. In the ISUPK, we dealing with real life situation. We dealing with the starvation that's going on in Haiti. We dealing with the fact that our people lost their identity. We dealing with real life situation. There are 2 million black men in prisons right now. You know what we're doing in the ISUPK? We're not waiting for anything. We are out there in the streets so we could wake up our people, because our people are on drugs.
Yeah, we're
Our
not trying to
people
predict.
are being molested by priests. Our
Mhm.
people are going into homosexuality. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? So we're not concerned about what Super Bowl, what team is going to win, or what celebrity is going
Is
to
going to
die. We are
die. Yeah.
concerned about the real life situation and the conditions of our people that is prophesied in the Bible. And we are
Can I?
not fools in here. So we're not dealing
Yeah.
with foolish questions. And this is why you will never get an answer of what lotto number is gonna go, what is gonna come
If I
out.
could.
Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
let me add.
Go ahead.
Yeah, those are the exact same questions I get from Christians. Well, what's the lottery number? What's the next lottery number? And other questions like that. You said that Haiti isn't in the Bible. Haiti is not in the Bible. America, the United States of America is not in the Bible. China is not in the Bible. Europe is not in the Bible. Those words are not in the Bible because Haiti wasn't a country at that time, right? The Bible has been around for a very long time. Africa, as we know it today, wasn't even split up the way it was until recently. That was made up. Like Nigeria, Congo. Again, when a Haitian says he's African from Nigeria, that's idiotic, because there was no Nigeria until like the 40s or until at least the 20th century. Nigerians didn't call it Nigeria. Okay, so all these land masses are not listed as they are called today in the Bible, but these prophecies apply to those lands, to those regions. In Psalms, the 49th chapter, the scriptures say that they would call the lands after their own names. It's talking about the man that runs or dominates the earth, the Europeans. The French gave Haiti its name. The Spaniards gave the common name as we know today, Mexico. Okay, America is named after Amerigo Vespucci. Okay, so all that is in the Bible. All right, slave trade is in the Bible. It's in Deuteronomy 28 and 68. I don't know what else it's talking. It's not talking about a Boy Scout trip, right? It's not talking about a field trip. It's talking about slavery. Okay, you go into Egypt again, bondage, slavery.
Yeah, it says you're going to go to Egypt, not anywhere else. They did not go back to Egypt. Is that correct?
I just said, yeah, they did go back to Egypt. I just said bondage. The word Egypt means bondage. In Revelation chapter 11, verse 8, it says that our Lord was crucified in the place which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. America is spiritually Egypt. We just told you that there are 2 million black men in prison. The 13th Amendment states that all men are freed from slavery in the United States. I'm paraphrasing. All men are freed from slavery in the United States except for imprisonment. You know what 2 million black men in prison is? Slavery. America has the largest prison population on the planet Earth. Prison, we can both agree, prison is a form of captivity. Okay, that is slavery. Yes, this place is spiritually Egypt. We're enslaved here.
Spiritually Egypt. The Deuteronomy does not mention anything about spiritual Egypt. It says going back to Egypt again. Not spiritual Egypt. That's spiritual, not real Egypt. But we kind of went past the does not exist thing, and I want to touch on the others. So
okay,
so like Reggie.
Yes, sir.
All right, you did not answer my question.
What was your question? I'm sorry.
Right, I asked you a question, but you told me what you think God is in people's mind, but you did not answer the question. Because,
what is the question?
Because I'm coming. All right, I'm coming. I'm right around the corner. We just told you why in the I.S.U.P.K. that God exists based on the prophecies, right?
Okay.
Now, the question that I ask you is, what is it that you are using? Is it the fact that you read the Bible and you didn't like what you saw in the Bible that you say God does not exist, or is it because of evidence? Why are you saying that God does not exist? I'm not asking you what you think God means in people's mind. Why you, yourself, Reggie Beloved, why don't you think that there is a creator of this so-called universe that we live in, this planet that we live in, or there's a creator at all? Take away the religious books, take away the religious books that you call in the Bible, because it's not a religious book. All right, take away Islam. I'm asking you, what is it that you've used? Why do you say that there is no creator?
Okay, the question is, why is it do I think there is no creator, correct?
Correct.
So I understand your question. I understand your question, yes? Okay, so there's no creator because we have not found any evidence that there is a creator, right? So having read the Bible and other religious books, what I found is that people because of not understanding how what we would call nature or science works, a lot of times they would I'm messing up the words. They would give attributes to nature, and they would say that this is their deity, right? And then stories came out of that. But once we learn more, we learned that, for example, that dead people don't come back to life. We learned, for example, that I'm using the Bible allusion to Bibles. We learned, for example, that there's no dragons, there's no satyrs. We learned that snakes cannot turn into rods. We learned a bunch of things that showed me that a lot of times, and from what we've been able to learn about nature, that there's not a person or a spirit or a God in this case that is making things into what we call creation. Everything happens through natural means, right? So since
Reggie,
there's more,
if I may
yes, sir.
interrupt you. All right, I gotta interrupt you because you answered the question already. So I don't want you to keep going because I know you're
Oh,
working with time. You answered the question. You said that you don't believe that there is a God because there is no evidence. That's correct.
yes, sir.
All right,
Yes,
you
sir.
answered the question right there. So now the following question I have is, what is your criteria for evidence?
For the ability to prove and demonstrate whatever you're claiming. So, for example, if you said that there is something called a God that is able to create, and let's say the God is within the ability to create, to demonstrate that, then they should be able to create. So, for example, if you say Yahweh Shah is able to create, I'm assuming that you believe that, right?
Yahweh Shai is not God.
Okay, so do you have a creator in your system? I'm not.
Yahweh.
Yeah, the most almost like yeah, so the most high.
The Most High.
Put
Okay, so
everything together.
is the Most High able to do anything right now as we're talking?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is he or she or it supposed or they? What are they able to do?
How did the coronavirus start? Are you aware?
No, I'm talking about the Most High right now. I don't
The Most
see
High,
what.
the Most High can bring plagues and diseases like the coronavirus for disobeying His law. Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 18, the Lord said, "You shall not eat bat." That you cannot eat bat. Okay, the coronavirus started in an area called Wuhan province where they were selling and eating bat, rat, wolf, etc. So that's evidence. God is doing things every day. God's
I,
bringing the coronavirus to those that disobey Him. Go ahead.
I was hoping to talk about and display whatever the Most High can do as we talk. So, for example, if I make the claim that I can hold up a phone, and you say, "Well, let me see you hold up a phone," I take my phone and I hold it up in front of you. This is what I'm talking about. Now, I understand that you're saying that the Most High is responsible for the plague in China, and that's what's going on right now. But that's just a claim. How would I verify that?
I just told you, Deuteronomy chapter 14 and 18 says, "You shall not eat bat. The lapwing, the bat shall not be eaten." When you go to the CDC, ask the WHO, ask the World Health Organization where they think it started from. They think it started from the consumption of bats. All right.
Okay.
The Lord said not to eat it. They ate it. There's a second black plague may be upon us. Coronavirus is deadly. All right. It's from the Most High. I just want to keep it simple. Let's keep it, quick.
Okay. So, because it said not to eat bats, someone supposedly ate a bat, and then there's a virus. It's proof that the Most High is real.
Yeah, you can go to China and see God's work in action.
Okay. All right. So,
Let me ask you.
yes, sir.
Let me ask you. Does atheists have a book, or does atheists have a dietary law?
No.
Okay, so atheists
Yikes.
can eat what they want. Correct?
Yikes.
Can atheists eat what they want?
Yeah, since they don't have a dietary law, so they can eat whatever they want, can they?
They can eat whatever they want. Yeah.
So they can
All
eat
right.
people? Can atheists eat people?
Yes. Can you
So
eat
you
a person?
support cannibalism.
No.
But you said atheists can eat people.
Yes.
So atheists support cannibalism.
No. Saying that atheists can eat people is not the same thing as supporting it. The question is it are we able to? If I put a piece of meat in your mouth, are you able to eat it? If I put a piece of bat in your mouth, can you eat it? Yes, you can.
No.
Does it mean that?
No, I can't.
Why not?
I would spit the bat out if it was ever put close to my mouth.
No, listen to what I'm saying. The question is, do you have the ability to eat it? Whether you want to eat it or not is not the question. You see, so if I say that, if the question is, can
Reggie,
I? Yes, sir.
Reggie, I'm gonna interrupt you. You're playing semantics because the first question I ask you is, do atheists have a dietary law? That
And I
means
answered it.
that, hold on. I'm telling you, you're playing semantics. Hold on. Hold your peace real quick. Hold your peace. I asked you, does atheists have a dietary law? You say, no, they do not have a dietary law. That means they can eat anything. That means there's not a law that says that you cannot eat this, you cannot eat that. We're not talking about somebody forcing a spoon in your mouth to tell you to eat crap, to tell you to eat bat. We're talking about a dietary law that tells you that you can eat this, you can eat that. And you stated that no, they do not have a dietary law. And my follow-up question was, that means they can eat everything. You said yes, they can eat everything based on what? Based on the fact that they do not have a dietary law. So let's not play semantics saying that, oh, well, they can eat it if somebody force it in their mouth.
Yeah, we'll just end it with that. The World Health Organization would disagree with you, Reggie. They cited bat as the root cause of the coronavirus. So I think the WHO would put warnings on eating bat. They should, if they care about people.
Okay,
right?
that's
So,
fine.
Haitians,
That's fine.
atheists support cannibalism and support eating bats, which was the root cause of coronavirus. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, did you hear me say that atheists support cannibalism?
I'm asking you, do they support cannibalism?
No. It's see, and I want to say this one more time. There's no such thing as atheist ... Okay, so you're not looking at it the way I'm looking at it, and I want to there's no such thing as atheist all wear the color gray. This is our team color. You know, atheists are like beef, but like with a little bit of pima on it. There's no such thing. I happen to be an atheist. If I ate bat in front of you, it would be my choice. If I happen to eat shrimp in front of you, which is delicious, by the way, it's my choice. It's not like it's somebody else. There's vegans that are atheists, you see. So they're not going to eat bats. They're not going to eat human flesh or whatever. I'm not promoting cannibalism. Don't make that, association. So,
I understand.
But there's not a book that you can say, well, Reggie eats shrimp, but the book of the dietary laws of the atheist says thou shalt not eat shrimp. There's not a thing like that. That's not.
Okay, we got to get to the next subject. But if an atheist wants to eat bat, he will, and if he drops dead of the coronavirus, well, he wanted to do it. It was his free will. It was his empathy to drop dead, face plant while waiting for a train. All right.
Hey, guess what? YOLO.
That's very beneficial. Highly beneficial. Next question.
Well, the next thing, because it's already 10:48, so we'll try
right.
Are there contradictions in the Bible? Was the next thing that we want to touch on. So you guys, I'm assuming, saying no, there's no contradictions, correct?
No contradictions. Zero.
All right. No surprise there.
Not only are we saying that there's no contradiction in the Bible, we're saying that all the atheists that believe there's a contradiction in the Bible are contradiction themselves. I mean, to be an atheist is to live a life of contradiction, and we're gonna prove that.
Okay, talk to me about that. I'm living a life of contradictions. Explain what you mean.
We're gonna get to that, but you could go ahead. We're gonna prove that, because right now you're gonna prove that there is contradiction in the Bible, and after we disprove that you do not understand the Bible, we're gonna show you that atheists live a life of confusion and contradiction.
Well, you can't put atheists in under one umbrella. They're not organized. So we'll just say Reggie Beloved. They don't have the structure or anything. Go ahead.
Fantastic. I think we've made one of the first progress that I can say yes, brother. So there are contradictions in the Bible. It's I think I sent you some references, but it's all over the place if you want to search. So you just put contradictions in the Bible. Now, what happens is you present contradictions not just in the Bible, the Book of Mormon, Quran. What happens is that the believers never see that it's a contradiction. So I think that if you were to look for a contradiction in the Quran, for example, you would find it, and then the Muslims would tell you whatever, I guess, apology that they have to show that it's not a contradiction. So there are contradictions. So the question is, it's not whether there's a contradiction, but whether you agree with it or whether you find some way to harmonize it. I think that would be the best case. Now, brother Yadazar mentioned about my library and one of the posts that we were going back and forth, and you showed a book. I have a book here that I would like to show everybody. This is one of the first books that I went through. It detailed not just contradictions but other things. But this is a really good reference book. But if you don't have time to read a book, you could go to the Skeptics Annotated Bible, and there's like, I don't know the total number, but it's literally like hundreds. But one of the ones I thought was very strong, and I don't think there's anybody that can really fix it, is this one particular contradiction between the two birth narratives of Jesus, one in Matthew and one in Luke. And this contradiction is not apparent right away to people until they do the research. By that I mean is that Matthew has Jesus born in the time of Herod the king, and then Luke has Jesus born when Quirinius was governor of the region. The issue is that there's about a 10-year gap between the two persons. So since we're running out of time, I just wanted to offer that to you to see if there's a way that you can harmonize this 10-year gap.
Yeah, well, the Bible doesn't say there's a 10-year gap. So-called black people are never exact with time ever. You tell a Haitian or Dominican, I'll be here at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock could be 12. 12 o'clock could be 1, 2 o'clock. Could be when the sun sets. So it's all around the same time period. None of it is false. The accounts are true. All right.
Wait, are you even aware of what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're saying that Luke, the account in Luke gives the birth of Christ at in around the time of Quirinius. That's what you're saying. The book of Matthew gives it around the time of Herod, right? Yeah, Herod. Yadazar, can you
about, Luke the 2nd chapter and Matthew the 2nd chapter?
I would have to look up the chapters, but it's basically, the key of the contradiction is the people that was in charge when Herod was the ruler. He was a what do you call it? He was a vassal ruler of the Roman Empire, because the Rome was actually in charge. And then when Quirinius was in charge of the area, there's like a 10-year gap. So basically, Jesus could not have been born in both times, So this is the kind of stuff that, like, when you do research and you learn about stuff that skeptics, and not all skeptics are atheists. For example, if you have what you guys call so-called Jews, when they're trying to show that their religion is actually not related to Christianity, not related to Jesus Christ, the person of Jesus Christ, they can find problems with what people call the New Testament. And this is one of the contradictions that skeptics such as them and us have found. And this is one of the, I guess, big ones that have been brought out to believers, and they can't reconcile it because the two people live in two different time frames. By the time that Herod died, I believe it was, I want to say, 2 BC, and when Quirinius took over, I want to say it was 6 AD. So about 6 to 10 years difference.
You're saying Cyrenius, right?
All right.
Quirinius.
Quirinius is not in the Bible. I'm trying to find what you're talking about.
Can you pull out Reggie? This
yes,
is what
sir.
you do, right? Let me help you out. I want you to be prepared. You say there's a contradiction in the Bible, right? I know.
Many contradictions.
Right. Hundreds of contradictions. However you want to put it, thousands, whatever you want to say. I'm familiar with the scriptures that you are talking about already. But what I want you to do, I want you to pull up the scripture that you're talking about and show me the contradiction in the Bible. Because I already know what scripture you're talking about, and I'm going to show you that you do not understand the Bible.
Yeah, and then if I can add, there are many people with the name Herod. There's many people with the name in the English Jesus or Yahushai. There's many people with the name Quirinius. Okay, just because you found the atheist found a Quirinius that rules it out. There was a man named Quirinius that was around during the time of a man named Herod. Right, there's two persons that rule.
No, they're talking about the ruler. There's a specific person. So yes, it's not.
No, there's more than one. There's more than one Herod. There was one that ruled during the time of Christ.
Yeah, I'm talking about the person that was named that tried to kill baby Jesus. That ruler, that person.
That was Herod.
Yeah, that's who is the first person in question, and there was only one of him, right?
No, there were many Herods. Herod is a title, like Pharaoh is a title, Darius is a title. So there is more than one.
I'm talking about the person in the story. If there's several,
pull the story, man.
All right.
Show us the contradiction, man. I already have it. I'm waiting on you.
Yeah, he's pulling Quirinius. There's more than one. There's more than one Quirinius. It's all right. It's a Greek name. It means warrior. There are many different Matthews around on the earth today. Many different Jonathans, etc. It's all right. There's one that ruled after, one that ruled before. Just like there's a Herod that ruled after King Herod, the famous King Herod. There was a Herod that ruled before. There were pharaohs during the time of Moses, pharaohs before Moses. All right. You can get the story though if you want.
All right, so you can go to Matthew chapter 2, and the title of this chapter is called "The Magi Visit the Messiah," and it says,
"No, I see it."
After Jesus was born in Bethlehem and Judea during the time of King Herod.
What verse you on?
Verse 1.
Are you reading the King James Version? Because I have chapter 2, verse 1 right in front of me.
No, I'm reading the NIV.
All right, read the King James Version, please.
All right, give me a second. All right. So it says, now when Jesus was born, this is the King James Version. Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem. That's Matthew chapter 2, verse 1. That Herod the king is who I'm talking about. That's the first person. Even if there's different people that have the same name, I'm talking about Herod the king of that story. Are we in agreement?
Got it?
Yeah.
So show me the.
Yeah.
So, do you know when this person died?
This Herod, sometime early on the first half of the first century AD.
He died about 2 BC. 2 BC.
According to some historians, but we dealing with around that time. Yeah. But what I want you to do, you got that verse. I want you to show me the contradiction now.
Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the Luke version. Hold on.
I'm there already. I'm waiting on you.
All right. Which I believe is Luke chapter 1.
Salakia for that. Yeah. It's chapter 2. All right, Reggie, I'm gonna help you out. It's chapter 2. I know you don't know.
All right, so it's chapter 2. All right, so
you see how we are in the I.S.U.P.K. We help our opponent. But go ahead.
All right. So this is Luke chapter 2, verse 1, and it came to pass in those days, and there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus to all the world should be taxed, and this taxing was made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria. So Cyrenius is who I'm talking about. So Cyrenius took over as the as the local ruler for Rome around 6 AD, right? So there's about a 10-year gap between the two rulers. So the two Jesuses could not have existed at the same time. So that's the contradiction.
All right. So, other one, if I may.
Go ahead.
Reggie, I'm gonna help you out, right? I'm gonna get this scripture for you real quick before I deal with
It's not even.
your.
First of all, it's not even the exact same time. Matthew chapter 2. He's not born. Matthew chapter 2. He's already born. Luke chapter 2. He's not yet born. All right. There was a Cyrenius, not Quirinius. There was a Cyrenius that ruled during the time of was in operation during the time of Herod. You understand, there were many people that were in rule and in power in the Roman Empire, just like in America. So there's no contradiction there. It's more than one Quirinius.
Well, we're talking about the person that was put in charge of the area named Cyrenius that I just read. It's not having someone having people with the same name is not the same thing as talking about somebody specific that just happened to have the name. That's not the issue. So this says Herod the king. They're talking about a specific Herod the king, and they're talking about Cyrenius, which is also known as Quirinius, right? So again, there's a 10-year, about 6 to 10-year gap between the two events, which cannot be reconciled. So I just want to know.
He's not the first. He's not the first one. The name Cyrenius. Go ahead, Ayatazar. Go ahead.
Go on, sir. All right, Reggie. Before I deal with your so-called contradiction, right? I'm gonna go to Acts chapter 13 because there's something that you do not understand about the Bible. Come on, sir. What you don't understand about the Bible is that you believe that so-called white people wrote the Bible. All right.
Did I say that?
Read the scripture. Say that again.
Did I say that I believe that white people wrote the Bible?
Yeah, we're sticking with
I've read some of your radio. I've heard some of your radio shows, and you've made that suggestion. You have.
Okay, so I did not say that.
Check out your radio shows on the Haitian Free Network on Blog Talk Radio. Am I making up a lie or no?
Yes. If you can bring that up, then I will. We'll post it together where I said white people wrote the Bible. No, it's not. It's
you suggested that.
I suggested white people wrote the Bible.
That's correct. But let me address this, okay?
Okay.
Now this is Acts chapter 13, verse. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger. Okay. What people don't understand is that this book, the Bible, is written by what we call today so-called black people. Black people wrote the Bible. So when you're dealing with Matthew and Luke, I'm gonna read this scripture real quick, right? Because the Bible is written, the Bible is written the way black people speaks. Now I'm gonna read the verse that you're talking about. And it came to pass in those days that there went out of decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. Your problem is that you're looking at the Bible from a so-called white man perspective. You're looking at it linear. When he's talking about in those days, it's talking about in those days, the way black people speak. If I'm talking about the days of early hip hop, I'm talking about a time period. I'm talking about a time span. I'm not talking about that specific year. In your mind, you're looking at it as that specific year. You're looking at it that, oh, this is the year. But he say in those days, the way black people speak. So what you got to do is get rid of that linear way of thinking, because there's no contradiction here at all. It's just talking about in those days. What you say, you based on your claim, it's 6 to 10 years. Well, if I'm talking about a time period, I could say, man, you remember those were them days. Am I talking about literal 24-hour days? I'm not talking about literal 24-hour days. I'm talking about a time period, a time span. So this is where you error, where you believe those people who's making these videos and these claims that the Bible has contradiction, because they are looking at it in a linear way of thinking, and instead of reading the Bible from a black man perspective, you error in that, and you look at it from a white man perspective.
Yeah, not only that, but even think literally. One, that's not the only time he held the title of that height, and two, again, there was a Cyrenius. There was a Cyrenius that ruled. Cyrenius.
Okay, that's not the only
He
time
ruled.
Cyrenius held what title? As the prefect of the area?
No, any title, meaning in any government, you rise up the ranks. So one, he had several titles, and two, Cyrenius applied to many different people. There was a Cyrenius that ruled during the time Christ was born, and it's just that simple. You can go ahead and look his name
I
up.
know
Look
that.
him up.
I know that, and I'm saying again, there's a gap between the two accounts. But apparently, I'm thinking like the white man, right? So
yeah,
that's right.
yeah, terrible.
That's the issue. You
Like,
know,
like they're linking, hold on a second, yeah, like they're linking Cyrenius to this cat that took a census during 6 AD when there are many different rulers. Cyrenius was a common name. So again, it's true and it's correct. But yeah, and you're thinking of the Bible as linear, like an Italian, like a Frenchman, like Bonaparte would read the Bible. All right, so that's the answer to the contradiction. There was a Cyrenius or Quirinius around at the time of the taxation.
okay,
No contradiction.
Well, we're gonna have to wrap it up because we're over the time, unfortunately. It's
Before we do,
11:06. Yes, sir.
before we do, I said that I was gonna prove that atheists lives a life of confusion and contradiction. Correct? Did I not say that?
Yes.
All right. Now let me prove it to you. I'm gonna ask you a simple question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do atheists, right? I'm gonna ask atheists and yourself. Do atheists have ceremonial a ceremonial law, like a ceremonial day? Is there an atheist day where they celebrate this is atheist day or atheists get together? Is there such a thing? A quick yes or no question so I can make my point.
Yes, there's Atheist Day.
There is atheist day.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the orgy day that you was talking about in October?
No.
Sexual orgies, that's another one. Yikes.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. All right. So there is such thing as an atheist day. Now let me ask you this question. Do you, Reggie Beloved, celebrate Thanksgiving?
No, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I take the day off and I chill with my family. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving in the sense of like the history of it, if that makes any sense. So I would say
You got
no.
it, Yatazar? You got it, Yatazar?
All right.
No.
So I'm gonna play this real quick, right?
Go ahead,
Beloved
Yatazar.
say does not celebrate Thanksgiving. I'm gonna play this real quick, which is from your blog talk radio show. I believe this was episode 45. If I'm mistaken, I will post the episode. I may be mistaken, right? But this is from episode 45. I'm gonna play this, and I hope y'all could hear it. Salakia. One second.
I don't think the Most High wants it to be played. Or maybe it's a lie. I don't know.
Oh, he does.
It's
Go
playing.
ahead.
It's
playing.
It's playing.
Okay. Play
You
it.
just had to speak. You just had to speak. I understand.
You were good for a second.
I'm gonna do it again, right?
Okay.
You could hold your comment about your Most High not wanting it to play because.
Yes, Thanksgiving is the big day. You know, today is the Monday after, so a lot of us are getting back to work, getting back to the swing of things, and just gearing up for December. Pretty much just
All right.
Just hanging out, you know, talking about post Thanksgiving. Again, I had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you had a good Thanksgiving.
All right. So Reggie Beloved just told his audience on the Black Talk Radio show that he had a good Thanksgiving, and
hopes everyone else had a good Thanksgiving.
He hoped that his people, you know, hoping that the audience also had a good Thanksgiving. So the next question that I have for you, right, Reggie? I got some pictures here from your Facebook, right? If I may, I'm gonna ask you another question. Do you celebrate Christmas?
Yes, I celebrate Christmas.
All right, good. That's good enough for me. So I don't have to go to Halloween because I know you celebrate Halloween as well. I could look from your Facebook page. You also celebrate Halloween. And we got what we got coming up, Officer Bun.
We got Valentine's Day. You're gonna get the cards and chocolate.
I don't know if you celebrate. Can you tell us? Do you celebrate Valentine's Day?
Yeah, you're gonna get the cards and chocolate. Right. Okay, hold on one second, Yatazar. Can I add real quick, because we're on the tail end. Those are the fundamental tenets of Christianity. In the Christian church, they teach Christmas, have a Christmas tree. They teach Thanksgiving, to have it, settle around your family, eat the turkey. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Those are the fundamental tenets of Christianity. All right, and it's sad. In leaving Christianity, atheists have become Christians.
Wait,
in leaving Christianity, you stay in Christianity. Christians have sexual orgies. Hold on. Go ahead.
Hold your peace, Reggie, hold your peace. Officer Urban just interjected in what I was saying. So let me finish making my point, then you can respond, all right?
Okay.
All right, good. So now we know that these days are called what, Reggie? They are called holidays, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving, Christmas. All right. Let me read this for you, right? The word holiday comes from the Old English word holy day. So Salaki Adawan, can you pull up 2 Thessalonians chapter 2? Be not deceived, Baba Kisha.
Yeah, I got you.
I believe it's chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you that day shall not come. All right, let me read this for you, right, Reggie? The word holiday comes from the Old English word holy day. The word originally referred only to special religious days. In modern use, it means any special day of rest or relaxation, as opposed to normal days away from work.
Can I interject real quick?
When we look,
let me interject real quick.
Okay.
So real quick. You do serve other gods. You do serve gods. You celebrate holidays. Christmas is the worship of the sun, Sol Invictus. You worship the sun, all right, and you worship Demeter, feast gods. Gods of the harvest in Rome. Okay, so you're not even an atheist. Atheists aren't even atheists. They celebrate Christmas. Christmas is the worship of another god. So is Thanksgiving. So atheists, they're not even atheists. Go ahead, Yatazar.
All right, Tawada, sir. So we could see that holiday comes from holy day. Where can we find those holy days? You know where we can find those holy days? Reggie, beloved, we could find them in the Bible. In Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, is where we can find the actual holy days. But what does your oppressor do that you love so much? Your oppressor give you his version.
I love my oppressor.
Yeah, Napoleon gave you Christmas. Napoleon gave you Christmas.
Reggie,
yes.
Okay, wait. Don't put. Hold on, no. Don't. I don't want you to say things that I don't believe. That's not
Reggie,
fair.
You just said you celebrate Christmas.
Reggie, do not get emotional. Do not interrupt me.
I'm not emotional, but I don't want you to lie, like straight up. Like,
hold on, Yatazar. Reggie,
and then you could speak.
Yatazar, 1 second. You said you celebrated Christmas, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we're not making stuff up about you. Go ahead, Yatazar.
Yeah, but he said that my oppressor
I'm gonna prove it.
Yeah, the French brought Christmas. Yeah, the French did. That's not native to Haiti. That's not native to Haiti. Okay. Go ahead,
I'm gonna prove it to you. Then you could respond. That's all you gotta do. Just hold your peace. You don't have to get emotional on me.
I'm not emotional. I'm just
listen to what I'm saying. Then you could respond, right? I'm gonna
prove
you that you love the oppressor. I'm gonna prove it to you, right? So now let me make my point, Reggie, beloved. The word holiday comes from the Old English word holy day. So those holy days, like I was saying, comes from the Bible. That's where your oppressor got this idea from, where he creates holiday. So now what do? You don't believe in the Bible. You don't observe the actual holy day that the Most High God commanded us to celebrate, to observe. You don't do that. What do? You copy after your oppressor. Because why? Because your oppressor, you love him, and he is your God. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. Officer Aban, can you read that scripture for me, Baba Kasha?
Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall...
Let no man deceive you. Let no man deceive you. Don't let no fool, don't let no so-called atheists who are nothing but modern-day Christian, don't let them deceive you. Keep going, sir.
For that day shall not come.
All right, that day shall not come. That Yahweh Shah that you don't believe in, the day that he's going to come back and destroy your oppressor that you love so much, that day is not going to come until what happened? Go ahead, sir.
Except there come a falling away first.
Okay, that means there must be a falling away. Your oppressor that you love so much, he's gonna fall, Reggie. You love your oppressor, and I'm gonna prove it to you. He's gonna fall. Keep going, sir.
And that man of sin be revealed.
That man of sin be revealed. You know who's the man of sin? The man of sin is your oppressor that you love so much. That is Esau. That is the so-called white man. That is the man of sin. He is the man of perdition. He is the one that says that, you know what, homosexuality could be just an alternate lifestyle, when the Bible, when the God of Israel says that homosexuality is unlawful, that you cannot be a homosexual. He is the one that gives you Christmas, that gives you Thanksgiving, that gives you St. Valentine's, when the Most High God gave us actual holiday in the Bible to observe in Leviticus 23rd, the 23rd
Right.
chapter. Keep going.
And come on, I'll finish it up for you. The son of perdition. If I could wrap it up here, the holidays that you celebrate, Christmas, etc., they come from the slave master. All right, those are not native to Haiti, to Haitians. The atheism sprouted during the age of enlightenment from the French. Again, another concept from the slave master. The founder, the pioneer of atheism, his name was Epicurus, a Greek, a Roman, a European. This whole made-up religion, mock Christianity, is made up from and by the slave master, the oppressor. Atheists are not really atheists. They do have a concept of a God. You know who their God is? The same God as America, the same God as the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholics are going to celebrate Christmas. They're going to have a beautiful Thanksgiving. They're going to have a happy post-Thanksgiving, and they're going to hope and thank everyone for having a great Thanksgiving, which is the same as Christianity. In trying to leave Christianity, we become better Christians. And that's all the atheists are. Christians have sexual orgies like you would not believe, Reggie. Christians celebrate Christmas, Halloween, Easter. They give their wife cards on Valentine's Day. In trying to leave Christianity, we become Christians. Christianity is disgusting, and it's in the air. It's in the walls, and it's in the radio. And it has a powerful grip on our people. Napoleon's Christmas has a powerful grip on us. Christmas is not native to us. You want to celebrate holidays? You should celebrate the Passover. You should observe the holidays of the Bible. Since you already celebrate holidays, you do have a concept of a God. You should have the concept of the God of the Bible. And the Haitian atheists should have the concept of the Bible. Here I am thinking that this Haitian atheist group only has Haitians in it. I make a post on their group, and some devil, a slave master, comes in and says, this group is terrible. And then we come in and say, oh, I understand now. Abun, you can't ask those questions. Slave masters in a Haitian atheist group, so-called Europeans in a Haitian atheist group, we can't have anything to ourselves. But here in the I.S.U.P.K, we have something that is by us and it's for us. And the Bible is by us. Right. So if you're going to have a concept of a God, which you do, you're not really atheists. Atheists are not atheists. The holidays we should celebrate are the holidays of the Bible. We invite every Haitian, atheist, Christian, whatever, to the Lord's Passover. Westchester Coliseum, April 9th, 2020. Make sure you be there.
All right.
And stop celebrating Christmas.
Finish that scripture for me.
17. Wait. No, you spoke for like a long time. We've been way over the time. I let you. No. My turn. No. We spoke. Come on.
Yadazar, you let him go ahead. Let him finish.
Now we went way over the time. I let you preach and say whatever you say, all the things that you said. So I'm sorry, but I literally do have to go. You guys came in a little bit late. You know, we could have had more time, but it is what it is. I don't think there's too much more I can say. We didn't get to cover question 3, but that's okay. So I'm gonna have to go. You guys have a great day, and see you guys after the fact. This should be on the Facebook soon. It's already posted on the I.S.U.P.K. Canada. I've been Reggie Beloved. There's been Abon in the Green and Yadazar Bun Lawyer. So you guys have a great day.
All right. So you there, Reggie, or did you leave? Did you run?
I'm right here. Where would I run to? I have to end the broadcast.
He's got to go. He's got to go.
Salute the people. Can I do that?
Go ahead.
All right. So I am Officer Yatazar from the I.S.U.P.K. I know this is gonna be broadcast on the Haitian
Free Thinkers.
What is it called, Reggie? Help me out.
Haitian Free Thinkers.
Haitian Free Thinkers, right? Haitian Free Thinkers. And like I was saying, like Officer Abun was reading, the last part of that scripture says, so that he, that man of sin, so that he could be seated as God. So that the Most High God in the Bible that gave us those holidays, right? Those holy days. He's not God anymore. You know who's God now? The man of sin is God. This is God now. This is God, right? The man of sin is God. We can see Reggie with him. This is God now, right? This is God. This becomes God. This is the man of sin. Now he becomes God. Now we observe his days. We observe his days. Meanwhile, the I.S.U.P.K, we having the Passover on April the 9th. We are going to observe an actual holy day that we can find in the Bible. Not a holy day, so-called holiday that our oppressor gave us, but a holy day that the Most High God of Israel gave us that we're going to observe. All right, this is my time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Reggie. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks. It's sad we celebrate Christmas though, but all right. Good discussion.
All right. Have a good day.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.